Welcome. We are continuing glimpsing the values which we desire that these should be made part of the instructions of Vedic mathematics as a mainstream discipline of knowledge in schools, colleges, and universities in India. Today, our focus is going to be upon the value which is accepted as versions of hypercubes as representative bodies of the respective geometries of the respective space. These values of hypercubes 1 to 7 as such are going to be our pointed attention. As far as 16 sutras and 13 Upsutras are concerned, we are focusing upon the first letters of these 29 sutras and Upsutras. The letters of the text of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras are being approached here today in the present context and focus as the transcendental code value of the respective letter. We know the transcendental code value of a letter is the value of its placement in the Devanagari alphabet. We will be observing as that the total value of all the first letters of all the 16 sutras, 20 and 13 Upsutras is going to be 100, which is parallel to the TCV values of Panchama, Bhut, Surya, and the Dhruv. This, as such, on the face of it, will help us appreciate as that the mathematical domain of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras, as is indicated and fixed in terms of the first letters, is of the order of the reach from Earth to the pole star. We know pole star is the origin of our solar universe. Therefore, this potentiality, these features, these values of the mathematical domain of Ganita Sutras in themselves are a very blissful reach. And it is this blissful reach which makes it impelled requirement for us to approach Vedic mathematics as a mainstream discipline of knowledge of the universal order. Then the focus is going to be upon the 13 versions of Hypercube 6, as Hypercube 6 is the format of Surya of our solar universe. Then the TC value 13 is the beautiful formulation TCV of Chit. Chit, the consciousness organ of human body, is the specific chase of Indian mind. It is the Vedas who are successful to glimpse, imbibe the Chit. The other systems restrict themselves either up till head or at the most up till the brain, and if it is extended without specification, then it is taken as a mind, which can be at the most parallel with the formulation man. However, Chit as such is being not distinguishably appreciated, absorbed, and followed, and that is why these classical and orthodox systems are not in a position to reach to the level of the Vedic knowledge. Then one feature of the basic number values, Moolank 1 to 9, being taken up for specific pointed attention is that these units 1 to 9 cannot be taken simply as the linear units. These are also applicable to spatial and solid formulations as well. See the hypercubes 1 to 7. Here in the table are mentioned the geometries, the hypercubes, and versions of hypercubes. Hypercubes, as we know, are the representative regular bodies of the corresponding spaces. Hypercube 7 is the representative regular body of a seventh space. Our solar universe is of six space format. Its origin, the pole star, is of Hypercube 7 format. Therefore, Hypercube 7 as representative regular body of 7 space would mean the geometric format of the pole star. Now, Hypercube 7 as it is of the formulation a raised to power 7 is to 14, b raised to power 6, as we had observed in the previous session. Now, the 14 components setup of 7 space domain leads us to 15 versions, as the 14 versions as such will take us to component 1 to component 14. However, these state when all the 14 components, boundary components, stand withdrawn, then a state will be when the 7 space domain will be free of its all 14 boundary components. This boundary free state of the domain is a distinct and additional version. Therefore, when we say Hypercube 7 has 15 versions, that would mean that the 7 space domain, which is enveloped within 14 components of self-referral order of Hypercube 6, these leads to 15 versions. The reach is 2 raised to 2 multiplied by 7 plus 1 equal to 15. Now, these 15 versions are 15 distinct geometric entities. These 15 distinct geometric entities as versions of Hypercube 7 are the representative regular bodies of 15 geometries of a 7 space. It is here where the richness of the Vedic system is self-evident. At present, the classical and orthodox systems of geometry work out simply one geometry for one space. However, the Vedic systems are successful to comprehend, imbibe, and to reach at 15 versions for Hypercube 7 as 15 distinct geometric bodies of 15 geometries of 7 space. The concept of a geometry as is conceived and worked out by the Vedic systems deserves appreciation. One shall sit comfortably and permit the transcending mind firstly to reach at the comprehension of reality of existence of real 7 space as a format of our pole star. Then a step ahead, one shall sit comfortably and permit the transcending mind to conceive 15 distinct versions of Hypercube 7. Now, once we will be comprehending 15 distinct versions of Hypercube 7, then we will be having a 15 geometric bodies with us. These 15 geometric bodies are distinct in their features, in their values, in their formats, and the manifestation along such formats as such naturally are going to be of 15 versions, and so our solar universe as it is can be comprehended only if we will have a chase of it along all the 15 versions of Hypercube 7. Now, these 15 states of a pole star are the reach of this mathematical formation. Then Hypercube 6 is a representative regular body of a 6 space. Its domain boundary ratio is a raised to power 6 is to 12 b raised to power 5. This body of 6 space with 12 boundary components leads to 13 versions. These 13 versions of Hypercube 6 are distinct 13 geometric bodies of six space. These 13 distinct bodies of six space are the representative regular bodies of 13 versions of hypercube Su as 13 geometries of six space. As such, our solar universe as it is as a domain is having 13 versions, and therefore for exhaustive reach, for complete exploitation, for full comprehension of the technologies of our solar universe, we have to avail and to work out all the 13 geometries of six space. It is the richness which gives us a bliss, as that our universe is so rich that it can have self-sustenance not only for itself but every existence phenomenon of our solar universe. Then hypercube 5, a 5 space, our space element. This Akash as Mahabhut is of the format of hypercube 5. Hypercube 5 is having domain boundary ratio as a raised to power 5 is to 10, b raised to power 4. It leads to 11 versions. So our scriptures approach Akash Tattva as in terms of 11 Rudras. These are the 11 incarnations of the Transcendental Lordship. Therefore, to have full comprehension of Akash Tattva, we have to be face to face with the richness of 11 geometries range of a 5 space, with 11 versions of hypercube 5 being the representative regular bodies of these 11 geometries of 5 space. Therefore, the sadhakas fulfilled with the intensity of urge to be parallel with the Vedic geometric approach to space, to Akash Tattva, is to be face to face with the 11 versions of hypercube 5 as a representative regular bodies of 11 geometries of the 5 space. It is this comprehension which will provide the enlightenment, in terms of which it will be possible to have an appreciation of the Creator. Lord Brahma, Creator the Supreme, is the presiding deity of a four space. Four space is having hypercube 4 as its representative regular body. This representative regular body of four space is having 9 versions. These 9 versions of hypercube 4 are the representative regular bodies of 9 geometries of the four space. It is here where one shall have a pause and one shall be face to face with this richness of the manifested creations. It is the manifested creations world which deserves to be transcended, and transcendence from this manifested domain would mean to have a transcendence at the transcendental origin of the creator space, and it will take us to the Akash Tat, where 11 Rudras or 11 versions of hypercube 5 are awaiting for the enlightenment of freedom from the constraints of the manifested worlds. Then we reach our physical world, 3 space, hypercube 3, representative regular body of 3 space, which has 7 versions, and these 7 versions of cube, hypercube 3, are the representative regular body of 3 space itself. We have to have a pause here and have to remind ourselves that at present, when we are approaching the geometric format of our existence phenomenon, and when we just take as if cube of a linear dimensional order is sufficient, and then when we see that it is only one of the geometries, one of the 7 geometries of cube are being forced to be the complete exhaustive reach, and it is here where is the real halt of the human intelligence. If We want to free ourselves of such unnecessary artificial conditioning of intelligence field because of insistence upon a single geometry of a three space of a linear order. Then naturally we have to transcend from linear order 3 space to spatial order 4 space, and step ahead from spatial order 4 space to solid order 5 space, and then to a creative order of self-referral domain, and ultimately at the unity state 7 space of transcendental dimensional order. This is the value which we are visiting, and this is the value which deserves to be put in explicit frame for the Vedic mathematics as a mainstream discipline of knowledge. Now, step ahead when we are face to face with our Vedic mathematics text of 16 Ganita Sutras and Ganita Upsutras, then we have to approach this text letter wise, and that too in the sequence in which the letters are being availed for the composition of this text. See, the first letter of these 29 sutras, these 16 sutras and 13 Upsutras as such, as value 29, which is parallel to the TC value 29 of Lord Brahma, Creator, the Supreme, the presiding deity of creator space. Then let us appreciate as to how the first letters of these 29 sutras are leading us to the transcendental code values. See, in column 1 is serial numbers of the sutras and upsutras 1 to 29. In column 2 is the text as Ekadhikeन Purve is the full text of Ganita Sutra 1, and its first letter is A, the sixth vowel. So in the third column is mentioned the first letter A, along with when it is said equal to 6, it would mean its transcendental code value 6, means its placement in the Devanagari alphabet format in the row of the vowels is 6. Likewise, the second Ganita Sutra, Niklim Navasta Charma Dashyata, begins with the first letter Na, and its value is 8. Now, in the fifth column, when the total value is computed, then against first, the value remains 6. However, when we reach up till the second sutra, the 6 plus 8 is 14. Like that, it is going to be a very blissful exercise that we shall table it. We should ourselves reach at this table and have a tabulation of the first letters of 16 sutras and 13 Ganita Sutras, and then reach at the transcendental code values and have a summation. It will be blissful to take note that this takes us to value 100, and see what this value 100 is. It is the TC value of Prithvi, Apa, Agni, Vayu, Akash, Surya and Dhruv. One shall sit comfortably and permit the transcending mind to be face to face with this organization format feature of the mathematical domain of the Ganita Sutras, which, as per its first letters only, is taking us to value 100, parallel with the TCV values of our Panchma Bhut, Surya and Dhruv. So reach from Earth to the pole star is going to be the reach of these mathematical domains of 29 phases. Therefore, sadhakas shall sit comfortably, permit the transcending mind to be parallel with this organization format feature, and once one will be in a position to have comprehension of the importance, sequence, organization, formatting, and mathematical case steps in terms of the first letters, which is going to be a reach steps from Earth, Prithvi, to the pole star. This will blissfully put us in a mental state as that The mathematics which we are going to learn, the mathematics which is going to be taught, is going to be the mathematics which will have exhaustive reach from Earth to pole star, entire manifested existence phenomenon of our solar universe, including seat of a pole star as its origin, is going to be the domain of reach of this discipline of knowledge. See, for it to have a proper appreciation, one shall take each of the hypercubes and to have a glimpse of each of the version of these hypercubes. Of these, hypercube 6 is most important and relevant for us as it is a format of our solar universe, of the sun itself. So have the reach at the 13 version. See, these 13 versions as such are going to be of -6 to 6 signatures, would mean the imprint of the boundary components. So if we are at the middle, then there are 6 components available and 6 are missing. Then we will have transcending and ascending reach simultaneously happening. It is this happening which will further help us appreciate as to how the Chalna Kalna Bhyam, the differential reach, is going to be of half range only. That is why those classical and orthodox systems and definitions of differential calculus and integral calculus are having a failure because they fail to appreciate that a raised to power n with derivative as n, b raised to power n minus 1 is only a half coverage of the domain. Anyway, we will come into it afterwards, but for the present, for today, have full glimpse of the 13 versions of Hypercube 6 and simultaneously take it a blissful exercise to be through the 11 versions of Hypercube 5 and also in general of 2n plus 1 versions of the Hypercubes. Now, we have up till this covered one value for 7 Hypercubes formats, 16 sutras, 13 Upsutras. The another reservoir is of 9 basic numbers values which are called Mool Ank. These are 1 to 9. Now 1 to 9 is tabulated in column 1 when are viewed in the another organization in column 2.